Alright, music off. Let's head into game 2. Let's see what Nadya's boys picked as their home map. This is looking like Nomad, which doesn't surprise me either. The Nadya's boys players, many of them have been tremendously successful in Nomadness. I think both editions, actually, both 1 and 2. Mentalist loves to play a bit of Nomad as well. The Finnish guys do. Not too sure about Wonder. So Wonder has subbed in here. Loiser is the one who's gone missing. I know Loiser, I don't think he likes Nomad too much. But he's not hung around to spectate and watch his team. So maybe he had to leave. Wonder hasn't been around so much lately, but I did see him in a room with some of his teammates the other night, and now his boys doing some training, so hopefully he's in good shape. The team lineup for TyRanT remains the same. 1 second, let me just Pogba is Jidba. Nope. So if you're just joining, Pogba is Viper. He did change his name. I mentioned that at the start of game 1. I won't reiterate it in every game, but some of you may have missed the first game. So Nomad is the Nadya's boys home map, and we'll just wait a little while longer to see the players stabilising their positions, where they get their TCs, where they get their docks. We can still see a lot of villagers roaming around. Let's take a look at Zupi to start off with. We're on his point of view. He's playing Chinese. That's getting a loom straight away. He's right next to Mentalist Mayans. I was going to say if that was an enemy, then he would be in a bad spot because he's quite late with his TCs up against Chinese. But he does have 3 boars and 2 boars for Zupi. This is quite a lot of boars in one place. I'd say they've got a good spot between them there. Those boars, there's actually a third one there as well. So 2 packs of 3 boars. Lots of fish towards the edge of the map here. If there's not an enemy dock too close, then those 2 will have a good spot with 3 boars each. Seems like, yeah, Mentalist Mines. Nadya's boys Wonder is to the north. Are we going to see a restart here? I don't do, because I think we're past the host time. I think it's 4 minutes, not 5 minutes, that the restart happens. So, yeah, Wonder with decent spot. I was going to say 3 boars, but this one's actually stuck in the forest. Seen this a lot lately. Saw a migration map the other day with someone's deer stuck in the circle of forest and actually chopped it out. That would be worth Wonder doing, to try and chop that out maybe. Obviously we wouldn't be able to access it for quite a while, but 1 villager chopping away there might not be bad. But Wonder is right up against Viper. Their TCs are extremely close, and if Viper finds all this food back here, he'll be in a good spot. Wonder playing Persians, Viper playing Persians. That's pretty similar. This is quite an extensive pause here. I do hope there's no restart, but the game is continuing on. Or is it? There we go. I want to find the last player for Nadya's boys. Yeah, that's Pike over here. He's playing Vikings. He's normally the Grush player for them. He's a great water player. Did very well in Master of Islands, of course. And I was going to say, is there an enemy near him? I can see a lot of colour next to him on the map, but it's actually just sheep. A lot of the food that was actually next to Pike's TC is being made off with by the TyRanT players, like the Viper stealing all the sheep. So what looked like is still a great spot for Pike, but he could have had 1,000 more free food if he'd found those sheep. Still got 2 boars, deer, gold, stone, 2 more boars. Fantastic spot for him. And I think Viper is in trouble in this game. Just focusing on him. If we just look at the minimap, he's here, right there.
Yes.
And then you've got Wonder to the left of him, Mentalist and Zuppy down there to the south, and Pike to the east. Does at least have fire for company, but that's basically 2 TyRanT players trapped in between 4 Nadya's boys players. So you do sometimes see when a player is surrounded on Nomad, they get wiped out because they're just cut off from their teammates. It's a little bit better because there's only 1 player behind them who's the Vikings player, who should be wanting to grush potentially. But we'll see how that works out. In the meantime, Yeah, just to note, fire is Vikings as well, actually, in the green colour. Just to then round out the player lineups, we've got Rhea in the south playing Chinese with a great map, all the resources that he could want, and also then to the north, Doubt, Mayans, not huge amounts around his TC in terms of food, but got quite a lot of resources in the vicinity. But what I want to draw attention to is simply the fact that Riot and Doubt have the whole southeastern half of the map to themselves, pretty much. I don't anticipate Pyke will be pushing too much down this area, so they have an embarrassing amount of land and resources to make use of, Riot and Doubt, so they will be needing to come to the aid of their teammates who are kind of trapped in enemy territory. Let's have a little look at dock positions. We've got Fire up here. He's got a dock right next to Pyke. I assume Pyke will add more docks up here because he's pretty close to this part of the water, and he can protect Mentalist fish as well. Maybe take out Fires. Wonder's here too, so I'm sure we'll see the extra docks there from Pyke. Wonder, I assume probably Fire, if he rushes, would go up there too, although it's a long way to the outside water for him as well. Rear with a dock in the middle, great mill there, shorefish and nice large pack of deer. I was thinking he had a dock in the south, but it's a sheep on the shore. Let me do chat off. Zuppy the only one for his team with a dock in the south. So I think this will be quite important to see who grushes from where and seeing who actually manages to keep hold of their fish. Right now a lot of the nabs fishing economy is concentrated in the north, and there is a good amount of fish up here, but the most is in the eastern and southern corners, which at the moment that's a lot closer to Doubt and Rhea, although they're not playing water, presumably. All the players still fairly low on food. I'd say Wonder is the one who's got the most banked up just now. Let's look at his point of view. Seen Viper, of course, already starting to wall off a little bit. He's made sure he doesn't lose access to that stone there, but he doesn't seem to have any gold around his TC. He's actually going to have to venture a long way to get to any gold at all. The best one for him to take is right back here, or maybe all the way south to where his teammates are. Meanwhile, Viper with that safe goal next to his TC. Fire doesn't have any too close either. Pyke and Wonder up to feudal age first. No tyrants on the way, and we can see Pyke's already sending a villager out. It's actually Fire's villager, so he's got confused by the colour, so he's presumably going to add extra docks up here. That villager has been seen by Pyke. He's flaring it. Sending his own villager out there for now. See what Viper sees of Wonder. Doesn't actually see Wonder's TC, but he should know. Got good exploration of all the resources he'll be able to take in the north. Let's go back here to see if Pyke and Fire engage, but Pyke's just going to wall in his village to get up that second dock. Fire on the way to the feudal age, back 2 minutes later, or a minute and a half later. That's going to be quite a big difference, and Pyke also managing to go up to a good amount of fishing ships as well. See some skirmishing now, with Wonder choosing to use the stone to try and do a tower rush against Viper to try and force it back. Tower going up there. Tower going up on this double palisade wall, and he just wants to reclaim more land and resources. Viper's just gonna go crazy with the palisades here. Made cheaper by that mile wall bonus, of course, but that's a lot of villager time. Do all of that walling, especially the double walling, and you can only keep re-walling backwards so far when the towers keep coming up. as soon as Wonder is through this wall, he'll be able to drop a tower here and take Viper off gold, which would be nice for him, considering that's his own problem right now, actually getting onto gold. So let's go to Pyke's point of view. Is he producing like crazy from one of those docks just yet? Yeah, 3 galleys coming out. He's already sinking Viper's fish. So Viper coming under a lot of aggression from Wonder in the west. With the tower rush, and he's also losing his fish at exactly the same time. Fire only now hitting the feudal age, and only now adding a second dock in the north. He's got one over here, of course, actually, but he's going to be a lot later than Pyke to start producing galleys, and I think Pyke should be able to take the advantage up here in the Grush. Really making doubly sure with these palisades. Getting a nice dock in the south though. It's going to take a long time for Pyke to ever come down here and find that, so that's going to be really helpful for him. No sign that Zuppy is doing any galleys on the water in the south. He's adding a second dock and booming. Going to the castle age. Might do some fire ships though. First engagement between Fire and Pyke on the eastern side. Looks like most of Pyke's galleys are actually in the west, picking off all of Fire's fishing ships. So he's securing this northern area for nabs more or less. Although one pesky galley for Fire taking down some of Pyke's fish too. He needs to focus on this before that galley picks up far more fishing ships than it actually deserves to. Just being left there. Let's return to this area of the map and see how the tower rush is progressing. Viper did actually get up its watchtower of his own, which stopped Wonder from creeping forward and dropping a tower on Viper's gold. So that will allow Viper to continue mining gold, and if he's able to get up to Castle Age, he can do Knights as Persians possibly. But Wonder did sort of circle around to the south, getting a tower on Viper's TC, stopping him mining. Sorry, not mining, chopping wood, and then also tower rushing Fire's TC. So right now Wonder is slowing down 2 players, and no doubt this is all taking away from Fire's ability to micro on the water and giving Pyke an even easier time cleaning up on the water to the north. Looks like Pyke is in full control up here. Wonder is now being housed in by Fire, trying to stop him moving around and reaching some of Fire's additional resources. I don't think Fire's on stone to make any other towers in, so this is actually good strategic play to try and zone out Wonder here. A tower on the hill and then houses to stop Wonder from continuing around and building towers in annoying places like this. Viper's just going to retreat for now to the resources that are further back. Have a look what's going on in the south. Nothing much on the water, just a fire ship coming out for Zuppy. Riet with a couple of galleys actually. Fire with quite a few builds, quite a long way from home, and we actually see Knight coming out from Zuppy. You should see all of these. Quickly flick to the water to see if there's any engagement, but Fire is having to run, so let's see how many villagers Zuppy can pick up with one Knight. Should be able to get 1 or 2 at least. And Fire will not be able to take the rest of those deer. 2 Knights on the scene now as a second arrives for Zuppy, and if he brings that in, that could be another couple of dead vills, if not more. Not going great for Fire at the moment, is he? He's grushing, but losing the grush to Pyke on the water, I'd say. Losing villagers on the land, being tower rushed and annoyed by Wonder. I'd say that Nab's having a good position in the early game here, but like I said, the issue can be if Doubt and Riet just use all of this space and resources that they have to boom up and become really strong factors in the game later on. They're actually making good use of that middle sea that none of the Nabs players are on either, adding in lots of extra docks and fishing ships here. Riet even with a dock on the far side. I'm not sure where the villager came from to do that. Here he is. Must have snuck through and then rebuilt that palisade. Yeah, right now Fire's not able to keep many villagers doing much of anything, is he? Want to go? He's got 18 idols of only 25 villagers. He basically doesn't have lumberjacks right now. 4 lumberjacks, I don't even know where they are. maybe here. Wonder's getting up another tower in a great spot there to stop Fire from being able to get wood. And if all of these is going desperately to get stone now, is trying to build some defensive towers. If Zuppy sent 3 or 4 knights here now, that would be absolute disaster. But he's focusing on the gold. What's going on between Viper and Wonder? Viper did get to Castle Age, making a knight and a monk. A few spears out for Wonder, who's still playing firmly in Feudal Age, but I'd say he's making that work for him. He's taken away Viper's gold and he's coming forward with more and more towers overlapping fields of fire. I think he's just doing great nuisance value in the Feudal Age here. Pike staying to finish off the docks, of course, but hopefully from the Nadya's boys' point of view, he'll work his way around to try and take away some of the fishing for Rhea and Doubt in the southern and middle part of the map as well. Fire is now just running veils everywhere as plumes arrive from Mentalist 2. They're going to chase down and try and see what they can find in the back of the map. They are sort of trapped still, Fire and Viper, because they are, of course, between Wonder and Pike, so Zuppy and Mentalist could find lots of free kills as the villagers kind of try and move to safer spots here. But Doubt is now annoying Pike quite a bit as those plumes make it through probably a low HP house and will park themselves under the tower to keep Pike off gold. But Zuppy's there with +1 knights, only +1 done on the plume, so only scratch those knights as they go down pretty quickly. And I think Pike should stabilise to not be in quite as bad a situation as Fire is, although he has lost a good number of villagers on the wood line to Doubt's plumes, which, as I said, Zuppy should now clear up for him. Pike did actually bring quite a few galleys round to the south. It looks like they're ready to go and push against Riet a little bit. So Riet's playing some water 2 whilst booming. Likewise Zuppy. I was looking at the village accounts between the 2 Chinese players for each team. They're pretty identical. But with Pike here to help out with those extra galleys, it should be Zuppy and Pike who take the fight here against Riet and then push down and get all this fishing and maybe the stuff that's in the middle of the map as well. Trying to look at Fire's situation now. He's down to 31 population, so still the same number of villages, around about 25. Zuppy, if he goes around there, could possibly even get that tower with the knights. Wonder's just solidifying his hold on Fire's map now, just putting up more towers. See where these knights are going for Zuppy. Mentalist Plume's also in the area trying to find the free kills that they almost sense are here, and those could be actually be picked up now as Mentalist has 6 plumes going in against Fire. These villagers should all go down. It's not going well for Fire in this game. I wouldn't say it's like terrible play or anything like that. It's kind of just Nabs abusing the map position. Wonder did really well to kind of slow down both Viper and Fire, and obviously this position and this situation that developed was not great for Fire, considering he was trying to rush on the water and Pike was up way faster than him anyway. Looks like Viper will clear up those plumes in the back, but not before the damage has been done. All those villagers going down for Fire, who's now on 17 villagers. He's almost out of the game. 17 vills, 15 idols. That's going to make for a huge advantage for Nadya's boys. Pike's only on 35 vills, but he's in the Castle Age with 2 town centres and 35 villagers, so he can actually be a factor in this game going forward, and he's definitely a factor on water. He's started to push Riet away from the south. It looks like I swear there was a dock here that's been destroyed, and maybe they can head into the middle. As I keep saying, I want to see that happen. Meanwhile though, Riet is almost up to the Imperial Age. He's landed on the shores of Zuppy. He's dropping a castle. He's got 3 stables down. I assume they're going to be full of knights. Yeah, a few knights produced, plus 2 armour coming in, so Zuppy needs to watch out now. Let's switch to his point of view, see how he's lucky in terms of resources. He's got more villagers than Riet, but he's lacking the gold to go up to the Imperial Age. Some camels could be an option if Riet is going to flood some cavaliers, of course. But Mentalist going imp as well, which will help Zuppy to defend there. And obviously they can... Nabs can kind of create some doubles in different places on the map because Fire is effectively dead at this point, and Viper is only on 41 villagers. He's in the Castle Age and he's been taking some effective fights occasionally with the monks and the mangonels and knights, but Wonder, playing full Feudal Age, continues to do good damage to him and be a good annoyance, and that's creating the room for Mentalist and Zuppy just to do huge damage to both Fire and Viper up in the north. Paused again here. Check out the chat whilst we have this breather. Somehow we're still focused on scooters from before the game. Puma King says, I bet you Zuppy's down to 40 vills in 5 minutes. Maybe. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how effective this attack from Riot is going to be. Like I said, it could be dangerous for Nadya's boys if Riot and Doubt are able to make use of all the resources and room that they have down in the south, and he's going to mount an attack against Zuppy now, who we can see is laying down lots of walls too. Try and buy himself the time, because I think Mentalist ideally would not help Zuppy to defend too much, but would come up here and finish off Fire and Viper, because Mayans in the Imperial Age can come in and deal with Viper and Fire very, very easily here. So let's see. Meanwhile, releasing those knights. It's going to be a hammer dropped in that wall to close that hole. That's not closed yet. Zuppy, you need to see that. He is doing. Up here, quick wall needs to happen. It looks like he's going to get HP on all the tiles, presumably. Sometimes there's always a hole. Is he going to get that? That should not have been allowed. Where are they going? There is a hole. The Cavaliers are in for Riot. Could be quite a few vills go down, even if they can jump into the TC here. Hopefully for Zuppy, he will close the hole now. But those Cavaliers there will make it difficult. There's always a hole in Age of Empires, despite Zuppy seemingly microing to try and get the fast walling done. He missed a couple of crucial tiles. I think there might have even been more than one tile, and now that TC is under threat. Mentalist gonna come here, but he's only got normal plumes. Yes. It's doing chemistry to get higher attack, but still only Castle Age plumed archers only so effective. Have a luck up here. Zuppy is, even as he's getting attacked so heavily at home, he's actually focusing on pushing against Viper, and they're doing great damage here. Wonder comes forward with more and more towers. Mentalist in the back of Viper's base, cleaning up, and actually Wonder is slinging quite a bit. I had missed that up to now. I want to just go to his point of view, although I could use the... Yeah, he said 2,500, half to Zuppy and half to Mentalist, so that could allow them to hold it here against Riot, perhaps, because they both have a little bit of sling coming towards them, whereas Riot is not being slung. I guess the question is right now, what is Doubt doing to Pyke? We can see that over there, but looks like Pyke has done a good job of walling up. Pyke plays a lot of Vikings on Nomad and such. He's kind of used to grushing, winning the water, and then having to wall up everything and defend, transition to a Castle Edge sling. It's classic Pyke really, and he's defending well there for now, although there's only so long you can keep an Imperial Age Mayan from banging on the door. Riot's trying to get some Cavaliers into the back of the base, get some scouting info, try and get some free Vil picks, but a lot of TCs here, and Zuppy going camels to try and shut this down. Maybe that will create some room for Riot to then go with Chukonu and siege rams that you more commonly see from the Chinese in the Imperial Age, but for now he's full focused on the Cavaliers. Have another pause here. We did see before when the game resumed the chat saying Wonder has PC lag. But even though he's playing full Feudal Age and he's still ahead of 2 players on the TyRanT team, he's 600 points ahead of Viper and 2.5 times the score of Fire, who is on 8 population. Where even is Fire? Is he going to get defeated? That would be pretty funny. I'm going to go to his point of view just to find him. He's got 3 villagers there. And what else? 1 there. And 4 military somewhere. I don't know where that is. I can't see the green dots in the military. 4 galleys. So Fire has 4 villagers and 4 galleys. Pike trying to run some vills because he feels he's going to lose ground against Doubt. Meanwhile, Zuppy getting those fortified walls up. He is freezing Rhea out. 2 layers of fortified walls. Take a little bit of while. Will give Zuppy some time. He's getting plate barding armor. He's getting cavalier. Might see heavy camel for him as well because we did see a lot of camels produced. They're presumably chasing a few remaining cavaliers from Rhea around the map. I don't know. But I'd say Nab's in a great spot right now still. Looks like some of the players were thinking about save and exit and restore after a PC restart, but Rhea and Doubt continuing. They're going to go. Meanwhile, Doubt, he's transported, landed a villager getting up a castle with just 1 villager, barracks and an archery range, but still not properly breaking through Pike's walls to do a main push against him on the land. Viper is now running through Pike's base with 20 villagers, and there's a hole there, so I don't know why Doubt's not running in and bringing those trebs forward. But so Viper, I keep wanting to say Pope, but Viper is escaping, and you can kind of understand why. Doubt has come to save him a bit now, but not before a lot of vills have gone down, and he's running some vills for safety's sake, I think. Wonder now on his way to the Castle Age after thoroughly taking over Viper's base with towers. Could lose a lot of villagers here if he doesn't see this and jump into the towers quickly. Oh, his reaction's on point, sort of, but those plumes with their incredible rate of fire will take down a good number of villagers straight away. So it's starting to get extremely messy. I barely know where to look. Seems like Zuppy and Mentalist have bought themselves the time they need to push back against Rhea down here. Possibly even more Cavaliers for Zuppy now. Upgrades are all done. He's only missing Blast Furnace, but those elite plumes are in the back for Mentalist, whereas Rhea barely has any Chukunu and they're only normal ones. Trebs in the back taking down the castles. I'd say this fight's going to go really, really well for Nadya's boys now, and they should be able to push Rhea back into the sea in this area of the map. So maybe Doubt is the one who's going to have to carry the torch now for TyRanT. I just used an Olympic metaphor and I feel very bad about that horrendous pun, given the Olympics are ongoing right now. Yeah, Doubt is pushing in. He's more or less shut down Pike's economy right now. Only 33 villagers, and that Castle Age thing that Pike was doing will be completely interrupted. And it's going to be Wonder who's actually going to switch to that role now, doing coinage in the Castle Age, finally getting Bowsaw Heavy Plough, and he's going to probably sling Mentalist to play against Doubt in a Mines War, whilst I guess they'll sort of ignore Viper for a little bit. He's stuck in the Castle Age, he's rebooming on a low population, and with Mentalist and Zuppy having taken a good fight against the south here, Zuppy can probably now play against Rhea by himself. So I think that's how the picture is looking for Nadya's boys right now, as they can try and cement their advantage or keep their advantage. Doubt is starting to do a strong push here. Lots of trebs in the back could take down a castle or two from Mentalist, but the plume numbers are, I guess, fairly even with Mentalist in the back with these, but he's not getting them into the fight. He's actually got quite a few there that are sort of trying to fit through a narrow gap and not really fighting. I think, though, as the reinforcements stream in for Mentalist, Doubt just needs to get the last couple of shots to take down a castle and then pack up those trebs and get out of there. Mentalist won't think twice about running forward and just sniping some trebs if he can. Yeah, and this is a lot of trebuchets going down for Doubt now. That's 1,000 gold down the drain. I think there were 5 trebs there. Well, they're not down the drain, they picked up a castle, but that's not that much of a return, is it, for 5 trebs worth of resources. Pike now just doing random towers in Fire's eco. This is where Fire is trying to rebuild, and Pike could be interfering with that. He's reboomed up back to 9 villagers, blessing Pike. Fire is still hiding 1 villager here. I don't know whether she's an insurance policy or whether she's just forgotten about. he's just forgotten about her. But anyway, Mentalist pushing against Doubt now. Lots of trebs there. If only there was less clutter here for him to actually move forward and deploy them all. He's trying to do that now. And those castles for Doubt won't last long, so he'll be pushed back. He's still playing full plumes, but going to be down 2 castles. He does have only 3 in total, so these 2 are his only castles. And that will basically slow his production and his push down. Zuppy is now running riot, cleaning up some of Viper and Fire's villages in the back. Fire's going to be back down to less than 10 villagers soon. I'm looking at the chat and we've got Nick and Nadya going crazy. Go Labs, go. Good to see the passion supporting their teammates. Doubt trying to get more castles. Viper trying to build a TC right in the middle of Pike's old base on the new goal, but I don't think this front line is going to hold. I would expect that Mentalist will just keep on pushing through. Doubt does have a lot of plumes here. He's got 64 in the map, but 90 for Mentalist. That's insane. I don't know where they all are. I could switch to his point of view to try and locate the groups of them. Yeah, he seems like he's still got a few in the south fighting Zuppy. Some in the back here picking up the TC builders that Viper has. Zuppy's there with lots of Cavaliers, and Viper could lose a ton of villagers here. He's only on 68 at the moment, and due to lose a lot more as elite plumed archers and Cavaliers intercept this migration and siege rams and trebs start taking down his town centres. Supporting or stream sniping? Nah, I'm sure that's just supporting. Let's have a look at the south, see how the fight between Zuppy and Riet is going. Both of them transitioning into some heavy camels to support the Cavaliers. But basically nothing has happened in the past 5 minutes or so. They're still fighting over this area of land. Riet hasn't lost his forward yet, although it looks like some buildings may have been trebbed down. Bombard towers being added for Riet. That can be a good option. I guess TyRanT still do have the best trade option at the moment, since the northern corner is contested and Nabs only really have firm control over the west corner, so that could allow Riet to continue generating the resources to push forward with those. And of course they do still have insane resources on the map in the south, as you can see on the pointer on the minimap. There's still a golden stone down there that remains untouched, plenty of it, golden stone in the back too. Looking at this fight though, Riet is kind of losing military count here, but bombard towers do at least solidify his hold over the territory. But siege rams coming in, how long will that last? Remains to be seen. Pike still making great use of feudal age galleys. In fact, loads of villages from Doubt should go down here, but the not TC, a castle being completed. Okay, so those galleys will be made quick work of. And this is a cornucopia of resources for Doubt to continue his push. But you don't only need resources, you need production, you need army, you need it in the right place at the right time. And right now I'd say that applies much more to Nabs, with Mentalist mounting a strong push, continuing to take ground away from the TyRanT team. Fire is still in double digits for villagers, so fair play to him. And you know, making good use of those remaining villagers. He's laming resources for his opponents, and he's actually activated the one female villager that was hiding in the trees. Now she's built a new colony in the east, but his day is about to be made very bad once again, and Zuppy's Cavaliers find the villagers, and if Fire's not lucky he could lose those straight away. I shouldn't be paying so much attention to this. Actually no, I misclicked on that one villager. She's actually down, it was actually down here that she was hiding. But yeah, I shouldn't be paying so much attention to it, but it's rare that you see a player defeated, and that is possibly an option here. So I'm paying a disproportionate amount of attention to Fire. Meanwhile, Doubt and Mentalist having a big plumed archer trade here. Doubt with more of the hill, I think. Unfortunately for Mentalist, he's not keeping those siege rams in front of the plumes, so he did lose quite a lot. But Cavaliers arriving from Wonder, who's now in the Imperial Age, I kind of missed that. And if siege rams do get involved, then Doubt will be forced to retreat. Nabs have real firm control over the water on the outside edge. It's not terribly important at this stage of the game with most of the fish gone and players having transitioned to more land economy, but it does allow the players to harass the resources, as we're seeing here and as we did see here. Ultimately, with all of those extra resources being around the edge and the back of the TyRanT base, and Nab's water control around the edge could help them to starve TyRanT out if it goes on too long. And also be useful for harassing trade, of course, in the corners. But it seems Mentalist and Wonder now really grouping up, getting ready to fully push back against TyRanT. Viper has fully migrated to the kind of northeast part of the map. His entire base here is gone, barring a few inactive structures. But Viper is going Imperial Age. He does still have 75 villagers, which isn't bad, and if he's able to secure resources, you can see him starting trade with caravans as well. Maybe he'll be able to get some Cavaliers in play as Persians, although he's coming from a long way behind compared to Wonder, who's getting Paladin now, and with the TyRanT's hopes in the north resting mainly on Doubt, who's full plumed archers. If Wonder gets Paladin, that could be the end of Doubt up here. In the south, though, it's Rhea who's making a little bit of progress. Bombard Towers did do a good job for him, but now Nab's getting Trebs on the hill, trying to come forward with Siege Workshop, actually thinking that was a castle. But we did see Mentalist has Siege Rams as well to get into the fray. Should kind of do good damage against Siege Rams, though, so it might be a little bit harder to take out the Bombard Towers with the Rams. And I think this is the part where Doubt is going to lose quite a lot of army, because his plumes are just shooting at Siege Rams whilst his own plumes get shot down by Mentalists. Looking like Mentalist's army is a little bit absent. He's still got 82 on the field, but I don't know where it all is. Some in the south assisting in the fight against Rhea, who's now adding onagers, which is great against both Chinese and the Mayans if they're doing plumed archers. But you can see them micing the Trebs against the Honor, just trying to pick them off. Lots of army here for Nabs. Kind of not really doing much at the moment. I guess it's maybe they've just recently resecured these resources. They could push against Riot from the north, or deployed them fully in the north to fight against Doubt and soon to be Viper, who's actually getting into the game now. No upgrades on the Knights other than Bloodlines, but they're coming. Scale Barding, Cavalier. So, you know, just to not let Viper getting back into the game, if you're Nabs, I think you'd want to try and make a little bit more progress. It'll still take a long time for I want to stop saying it. Viper to be on an even footing with Wonder. But they won't want to delay the push. Lots and lots of Paladins coming for Wonder though. Now 48 army, that's huge. 50 Paladins going in here can do huge damage to all of this. Mentalist with a good number of Trebs on behind to take down all of these structures in double quick time. And Viper's now losing all of those Cavaliers just as he wants to upgrade them. He's only got Cavalier with +1 armor and no attack upgrades, so Paladins with all the upgrades apart from some of the attack upgrades will absolutely shred them. So great timing on the attack by Nabs here. And I think they're going to be pushing fast enough. I don't think Viper's going to get back into the game at this rate. He's losing stuff as quickly as he makes it. But Rhea is certainly making a little bit of progress in the south. It's slow and painstaking and hard won, but it's certainly progress. And if he gets onto this hill, that will give him a little bit more of a platform to push against these extra castles for the Nabs players. Zuppi is bravely holding the line, but he is losing a bit of ground. Rhea is playing a blinder here. He's got the scoreage in the game, even as his team sort of crumbles around him. And like I said, I still feel that TyRanT have the best trade route in the game at the moment. We can see they're getting that established here. Nabs don't really have that, but there is still a lot of resources left on the map for them to take in various places. So I don't think trade will start to have an impact for another 10 minutes or so. saw 1,050 stone going to Mentalist from Wonder for Mentalist to get more and more castles. He's on 5, and actually that's not a lot when you look at the fact that Doubt is on 7, because Doubt did go down to 2 at one moment, I believe. Obviously all of these resources in the back allows him to rebuild castles for days though, but on the front he's losing ground as those Trevs from Mentalist deploy and unload, taking down all the stables and the siege workshops as well. They don't really have army up here. Doubt has fallen to 126 population, only 25 military versus 50 paladins and I don't know, 30, 40 plumes plushing with siege back mixed in. The TyRanT team are going to crumble in the north, I'm sure, even if Rhea is making progress in the south. Playing not 1 versus 2, but sort of versus 1.5 by himself. Really strong play by him, but ultimately I don't think it's going to be enough. Viper's now getting Paladin. He's got 117 villagers somehow. I don't really know where they all are, but look at this flood of Paladins making it into his eco. We won't be saying that he's got 117 villages in a minute, that's for sure. Pike also flaring the trade, making sure his team is aware that the trade is going on from down there. Viper has 14 Cavaliers that Paladin upgrade is about to affect. It's really not going to do anything against this amount of army for Nabs. And Riot's now taking that hill that I was talking about. Using it to push in against Zuppy's base, and he is starting to lose some ground. His population is not that high, but he's still maintaining a high army of 60. Scroll through to see. Yeah, Pike actually didn't start slinging at all in this game. I assumed that's what he was doing when he went up to Castle Age over there, but he's just reboomed basically. I want to see if he's got any land army on the map. Just want to switch to his point of view, then return to view this fight. No, he's just full water. But he is getting banking, so the sling is about to start for Pike. I assume he'll send that to Zuppy to try and hold the line against Rhea, because I think that Mentalist and Wonder have everything they need in the north to push against Doubt and Viper. So I think if Pike can help Zuppy hold the line here, then it's only a matter of time until the game-deciding move happens for Nabs in the north. Nonetheless though, TyRanT are doing an incredible job to hang around in this game when Fire has been out of the game for the entirety of it. He's now on 36 vills, but still that is not going to be having any impact on the game at this stage. He's just trying to reboom. He's actually been receiving sling to reboom as well, but it's going to be so long before he's able to do anything that has any effect on the game. Meanwhile in the north, Nabs continue to gain ground. Viper's down to 104 villages, so a little bit less than when I last took count. Doubt's army still not that high, 34 to Mentalist 95. Mentalist has done an incredible job in this game of keeping his plumed archers numbers really high. Even when he's had less castles than Doubt, he's been keeping those plumes at close to 100. 8th Wonder now with 69 military. Are they really all paladins? That's scary if so. Considering he was quite delayed in this game because he was hanging around the feudal age, just being a nuisance to his opponents, getting onto such crazy numbers of paladins, especially when it was, you know, like the player who's kind of the opposite of him for TyRanT is Viper here, or the mirror of him, the Persians, and he got to the castle edge first, but ended up not losing directly to Wonder, but the team play combination with Wonder slowing him down, and then Zuppy and Mentalist doing damage against him. Wonder has really slingshotted ahead of Viper in the end. Looks like TyRanT will try and hold the line here, but there's more paladins in the fray for Wonder, and he actually sent some to the south as well to try and help Zuppy hold against Rhea. once again, another pause. I wonder if it's Wonder's PC struggling again in the late game because they were talking about it lagging early. But just taking stock of the game, we see that Nabs have around 250 military, which is ridiculous, whereas TyRanT with less than 150, so that kind of tells you everything. And it's the same units as well, pretty much. We see the same units squaring off here, and although Zuppy's losing ground against Riet a little bit and doing stuff like skirmishes, I guess Riet is starting to not be able to afford the expensive endgame combo for China either, by the looks of it. But the fact that the unit compositions are pretty similar and Nabs have more than 100 extra military compared to TyRanT is going to be the deciding factor here, I think, barring a big comeback, a big turnaround. But Nabs in the north are a few screens away from the trade and losing ground at the front line constantly. We see the big engagement between the Paladins. Actually, Wonder quite late on Blast Furnace there. I just saw +2 change to +4, so maybe Viper was getting a little bit of an edge at the start of that fight with Blast Furnace being done for him. And actually, he's cleaning that up. Wonder, I don't know where your 70 Paladins were, but you're now down to just 34. I think he must have had a lot elsewhere on the map. I want to switch to the military view. I guess he lost some in the south just. He's got half a dozen attacking afar. His reinforcements will swing it back into the favour, but that did go initially quite well with Viper. Maybe that will allow them to hold the line a little bit. Maybe that will buy them some time to stabilise. I don't know, but it's not looking likely. But as Wonder now comes forward, he's the one with the power to reinforce more because he's got a bigger economy than Viper at this stage. And Pike with the Castle Age Sling will be able to distribute more resources to Wonder to reinforce continually, whereas that luxury really isn't afforded to Viper, losing a lot of his economy, and the GG is called. So great game there. I think, as I was pointing out at the start of the game, Viper and Fire being trapped amongst pretty much the entire Nabs team was important, but if you're in that situation as Fire, you need to have a secure base to be able to grush. He was losing the grush anyway because he was up later than Pike, but he wasn't safe at all. He had no walls, he had enemy attacking him with towers, and then he was vulnerable to the Castle Age aggression. And Wonder, I think, was key here, coming in game 2, slowing down both Viper and Fire. And Zuppy did a great job holding against Riet, who had way more resources than Zuppy did to work with, given that he had all this area of the map here. It's crazy compared to Zuppy and Mentalist sort of sharing what was here. So good job by Nabs, and that makes it 1-1. Oh, was it a Riet drop? I thought I saw someone say GG in the chat, but maybe not in the in-game chat. Game was not finished, and the lobby says so. Let's delete that point. Getting overexcited because I've been of the view that Nadya's boys are ready to force the GG. I think they're going to restore, guys, so they will play that out. I'll be right back in a sec. I didn't notice that it was a drop either. Alright, spec delay is elapsed right now. Let's get back into it. I guess Riot must still feel he can push against Zuppy a little bit. Maybe he thinks he can get to the trade or something, but there isn't really trade for Nadya's boys right now. A little bit. Let's see how this fight is going, try and get our bearings again. Still a lot more military potentially for Wonder, although his numbers have, or his numerical advantage over Viper has evaporated to a degree. It's still sizable, about double the military, but I think he had a lot, the differential was a lot bigger a little while ago. But they are losing ground here. In fact, doubt having to retreat Blooms onto the hill, and maybe that will be somewhere where they can make a bit of a stand, but the Trebs are raining down, destroying castles quickly. How's the TyRanT trade looking? Pretty good trade line, and that's what's keeping them going, I guess. But it's going to be vulnerable in the end to the Vikings player. Pike still has full control over the water. Is my mic on? Yes, it is. And Nabs is starting to get the trade going, which will really help them. I guess TyRanT also have a lot of extra natural resources still to take, which probably isn't so much the case for Nadya's boys, but they're not really able to make use of that. It's kind of Riot who's one of the ones who still has the resources in his hands, I guess. I'm going to switch his point of view. Pretty much redlining actually, some gold. And he's using that hill to good effect. Like, he's doing a lot of damage against Zuppy, but Zuppy's got his own hill. It's just about holding the line for now, although Bombard Towers and Onagers does make the difference. And now, this is a game deciding thing, I think, coming in. As if you don't consider it to be decided already, which there was some argument about in the chat. I think Pike going Elite Cannon Galleon and just cleaning up the towers on the shoreline and the markets will be pretty decisive here, because if TyRanT lose trade, then I think that will be done. That will be them done, even if Nadya's boys haven't established that good a trade route themselves yet. And we see Pike also adding in a lot of siege rams, so this is the Vikings being used very, very well in Imperial Age here. They can make siege rams, they can make elite cannon galleons to destroy, basically just destroy the enemy's trade, destroy the infrastructure, destroy the production. Trade, sling and destroy buildings with siege rams and cannon galleons, and now we see a massive fight going to happen here. I feel like this should go in the favour of the Nadya's boys teams, but Viper seems to get a little bit of better surround on Wonder's paladins there, just initially, and I think Viper will have a few more paladins possibly in this fray, but Wonder's streaming reinforcements in a way that Viper isn't. There are no reinforcements coming, whereas with Wonder's reinforcements continually arriving, they will eventually push through there, and obviously the siege rams in there for Pike taking a lot of fire. Doubt's starting to add his own ram, but only capped ram for now. Fire started trade. He's actually back at 71 villagers. I assume they're all down there in the eastern corner, but Nadya's boys getting that important hill, and if they're able to push forward from there, then that's 2 more castles for Doubt that are going to go down. He's only got 4. He's still got stone to mine for days, but you can't keep losing them. They are costly things, and they're just losing ground as well. They're 2 screens from the trade. And obviously, like I said, Pike can start destroying it too, which he's doing down here with the elite cannon galleons. Let's have a look at the fight between Zuppy and Riot. All Zuppy has to do is stop Riot from pushing in, and he's doing that well. Riot really not gaining ground now. He's still on that hill, killing Zuppy's units that come forward with the castle and the bombard towers and the elite shoot on you, but he's pushed ground to a halt completely. Getting distracted by the green there, thinking fire could possibly still be alive here, but I think Doubt hurriedly rebuilding castles using all that stone we saw that he had. and those castles are right in the trade line. So this castle falls, and once they've cleared all this crap out of the way, basically, then they'll be in position to deploy the trebs on Doubt's line of castles that are actually protecting the trade line. I think right now Mentalist could actually run Plumes into the trade line, and maybe that's what he's about to do. Also securing more hills with his own castles. And we see the GG coming out. 1/8 wonder with the G. Salty, salty. But no surprise to see the GG happening. I think this has been over for a while, but TyRanT wanted to make sure that was fully decided. Right, let's head back quickly and see if the players are eager to get into game 3. So it is 1-1. Caster's prophecy was correct. Really great game, wasn't it? I agree. Really exciting and interesting stuff going on as well with like the full feudal play from Wonder and you know, Fire almost being defeated. It's pretty cool. Just when Fire was coming back in the game, GG. But yeah, I'm not sure if the restore was actually that worthwhile there. So I imagine we'll be into game 3 shortly. It will be TyRanT's home map. I'd be shocked to see anything other than Arabia. I'll put some music on and take a little bit of a break. Riot is saying that he needs a few minutes, so could be a bit of a break. That was a quite hard fought game, so maybe the players want a break. I'm not complaining.